What's going on, everyone? Sloshy Bets back with another mock draft. This one's more of a community challenge kind of deal. Um, Tristan, it's a long name, so I'm just gonna call him Tristan. But Tristan recommended I do a 10-team PPR. He is a fifth pick, and he wants me to take basically quarterbacks with my first two picks. So we're gonna see how this goes. See what kind of team we can put together. So I guess his whole deal is he wants to keep one of the quarterbacks for trade bait. But let's start it up and let's see what happens here. I'm gonna be honest. I don't recommend doing this. Tristan, I would not probably do this. Reason being is, I mean, if we look at the top 10 quarterbacks, right? So down to Dak, we'll just go by this ADP. So Dak, Deshaun Watson, Lawrence, Herbert, Fields, Burrow, Jackson. So if let's say I'm going to get Mahomes here, right? And then we're going to come back with Josh Allen, probably. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. So I'm going to go Josh Allen for the sake of the video. So here's why I wouldn't do this. Not only did you miss out on, let's say, 20-ish skill position players. So your top wide receiver, your top running back, you're going to be, reaching, right? These are guys that may not even finish, wide receiver one, running back ones. So that's going to hinder you a lot. It's going to hinder you a lot. Honestly, I would wait for quarterback, man. I know you said in your comment that, you have a Chiefs fan that's probably going to take Kelsey early and try to pair with Mahomes. I'd let it happen, man. I mean, that's a good duo for sure, but I'd let it happen. And I know you said it, you had a Bengals fan as well that might take Burrow round one. I'd let it happen, man. I'd actually capitalize on them drafting those quarterbacks early. So you're gonna want to load up on skill position. Unless the quarterback scoring is like way different, like quarterbacks get boosted, like whatever 300-yard games they get a boost, or I know some leagues do that. Maybe you want to think about taking a quarterback, but I mean, here's the reality of quarterback, and this is you have your top guys, right? Your top fantasy guys. I would put Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and Burrow probably in my top tier. And then you have this next tier of Jackson, Fields, Herbert, and then I'd probably put Lawrence down with these guys. But let's just say, you probably want to get a guy in those first two tiers, right? Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and then Jackson or Burrow too. Sorry, and then Fields, Herbert, Jackson. So you can wait, until round 4 or 5 to get Herbert or Fields or anything like that. So, will the point differential will you actually get? Is the point difference worth it? Taking a quarterback in the first or second round, maybe not. Maybe Burrow finishes higher than Mahomes or Allen this year. Maybe Lamar Jackson has a great year, another MVP year. You never know. Maybe Herbert blows up this year and outduels Hurts. So there's definitely value to be had later, and not taking one in the first couple of drafts in the first couple of rounds. I definitely, if you are going to take a quarterback early, that's okay. Take Mahomes or Allen or Hurts or Burrow. I would not double up. I don't think that's a good move. I know you said for trade bait, but here's what I was trying to get at, my original point before I went on a ramble. Let's say, there's 10 teams, right? So everyone's going to have, one of these top 10 guys, at least one of them. Even if you do double up and you leave someone with, a Kirk Cousins or a Aaron Rodgers or a Tua, I don't think they're going to want to upgrade to Josh Allen. I mean, they may, and this is a gamble, right? It could work out for you. It could, but Let's see who else we could take here just for the sake. You can get a Tony Pollard, who I think is going to be a top 5 fantasy running back this year. Would be a great pick here. You get A.J. Brown, a Garrett Wilson. I think A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson are both going to finish top 10 receivers this year. So there's like a lot of skill, a lot of points you're missing out on where the points do drop off, So if we miss out on this, we're going to be going, I mean, Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Taylor wouldn't be bad in the third round. But then you get down to, mix in Breece Hall, Gibbs, Jones. I mean, not, you know what I'm saying, not this amount of tier. Pollard's going to get all the touches. Derrick Henry, he's getting older, but he's still a beast. But we'll for the sake of the video, we'll go through this and see what we can do. But I do not recommend doing this. Even if you do end up trading, Mahomes or Josh Allen, whichever one you end up moving, it would have to be a pretty decent haul. And honestly, it's probably going to be for a player that you could have drafted here anyway. So it's kind of a wash. I would honestly not even take quarterbacks this early. You obviously want to watch your draft, right? And see, that Bengals guy's probably going to take Burrow, whatever. I think he said he was behind you a little. So, and then, people may start panicking and taking quarterbacks fast. But, I mean, once you get the drop-off's not huge, right? Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, Burrow. That's that first tier. And then you got really good quarterbacks here, fantasy quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Fields. Herbert, I would probably take Herbert and Fields. I like a lot this year, which I think you can get later. But for the sake of video, let's play this out. I'll stop talking. And let's see what we can do. So running backs, we have Najee Harris. Mixon is a good one. We have Waddle, Olave. I like Waddle here. I like Olave here too. I think Najee might not be a bad pick either. Mixon's good. So here's the thing. When you're going to pick 2 quarterbacks this early, you're going to have to sacrifice one of the positions, right? One of your positions is going to be bad, and that's the one you're going to go target when you're trading. So for the sake of this video, we're going to get our wide receivers right. So I'm going to go Waddle here. So you're going to get Jalen Waddle in the 3rd round. And then let's see. So look, there's still Herbert sitting here. You still have Fields in the 4th round even. So we could have gotten, a wide receiver, running back, first 2, and then pick up Herbert here. And I mean, that's perfect, right? That's fine. We're feeling good. But I like Mixon a lot here. Breece Hall, I'm avoiding just because of the injury. I do think he's a good one to draft just a little later. If he falls, 5th, 6th, 7th round, he's definitely worth a swing. Etienne is not a bad pick here either. I like Mixon. I also like Kenneth Walker a lot. But let's see wide receivers. We have Cooper, Debo, DeAndre Hopkins, Jerry Jeudy I like a lot. DJ Moore and Terry McLaurin. So there's a lot of good ones I like here. In kind of the same tier. Running back, there's a couple. I think Etienne and Mixon are kind of in a higher tier than the rest, and then it kind of drops off. Well, Walker's probably in that tier too. But let's see. But I'm going to go, I think, should I go Mixon? Problem with Mixon is I feel like they're just so pass heavy now. I mean, he's caught 60 balls last year, 9 touchdowns. That's pretty crazy. Finished 12. So he's had 1 season in the top, 2 in the top 10. Etienne. I don't know why I always say Etienne. Obviously a rookie last year. Or not a rookie, but I guess coming off that injury. It's his first full year. Went for over 1,000. I think that he's going to get used a lot as well. I'm going to go ETN there. Just based off of he's going to get maybe more touches than Mixon. Both good picks, but either way, doesn't matter. So here we're going to go with some wide receivers. A few went off the board there. 4 in a row, 3 running backs. Kenneth Walker, I love here. So we're gonna sacrifice a little wide receivers. We're gonna go a little deeper wide receiver this position. Tight ends we're not worrying about until later. We got to fill in these skill gaps. And there's actually a good amount of tight ends you can get late. You can get, not on that Texans. Never mind. I forgot he got moved. Njoku, Freiermuth, Ingram. These 3 are very solid late round tight ends that are going pretty late that I would be, happy with. But we got to go load up on wide receiver now. So you got Drake London here. Good solid wide receiver. I always come back to Deontay Johnson, man. This dude, I mean, he's consistent, right? Look at the target share. 140 targets. Kenny Pickett looked really good in preseason, and he hit Deontay Johnson, I'm pretty sure 2 or 3 times on the opening drive. They just have they got good chemistry. He's not going to get 0 touchdowns again. I can promise you that. He's going to probably get around, 5 or 6 or so. And I could see him, cracking that, top 15 range, maybe something like that. So top 15, top 20, that's a great wide receiver too. So yeah, we're going to draft him. There goes Herbert right there, right? So 6th round. Fields, Herbert, Lawrence all went 6th, 7th round. So that's what I mean. The points, yeah, Mahomes, Allen, they're, the big named quarterbacks that, are going to get you a ton of points for sure. But if you can replace those with, a running back, like who's going up there? I mean, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill at 5 would be great. And then even come back here and get a Pollard. Like I said, you have Tyreek Hill and Pollard, think of that. And then instead of Deontay Johnson here, we went Herbert, Kenneth Walker, Pollard, Waddle, ETNA, Tyreek Hill. Probably wouldn't draft Waddle. I would have went Olave instead because we have Tyreek Hill and we don't need both the Dolphins receivers. But that would have been an awesome team, right? So just think about that, man. I mean, you can do whatever you want. Obviously, I'm not, I don't have all the answers, but I've been doing fantasy for a long, long time. And, that's one of the strategies I've been using for a while is drafting a quarterback semi-later. Just because, it just seems to work out. Get those skilled players early, that put up a ton of points. Some even outscore quarterbacks, to be honest. Like some of these guys up here will outscore quarterbacks this year. So you want to get one of those guys. But back to the wide receiver. We need one more on that starting wide receiver spot. We have Lockett. Not a fan of him this year. Ayuk I love this year. He's probably going to be a pick. Lockett is going to be, I think, kind of moved out by Smith and Jigba. And obviously DK Metcalf, he'll become more of a slot guy, which, I mean, he's still going to get, I mean, look at this. He's at 4 straight 1,000 yards, right? So he's going to get his touchdowns, top 20 finishes. I mean, as far as like the last 4 or 5 years go, the dude's been a stud in fantasy, right? Top 20, pretty much top 22 or better in each of the last 5 years. So if you're looking for consistency, I guess he's the move. However, I do think those numbers are going to go down. I think Ayuk is the young player, kind of more on the rise. Finished 17th last year, 114 targets, and I think that's a good pick. But for the sake of this video, let's just go with the safe Tyler Lockett. No, I'm going Ayuk because I like him better. I had a brain fart there for a second. We're going Ayuk. So we got Waddle, Deontay Johnson, and Brandon Ayuk. Not terrible so far. ETN, Travis Etienne, Patrick Mahomes, and then Josh Allen, which we can try to trade for, maybe a wide receiver or running back. It's always good to wait until like week 1 and maybe like Jamar Chase or Eckler has a down week 1, right? They only score like 8 points. Be like, bang, trade offer, because that's not the normal, but people get stale about that kind of stuff. So running backs, let's get another one. We have 2, so let's get a third. Don't hate Pacheco here. Dalvin Cook is here. I don't know. I hate that he's in these mocks that I'm doing, he's lasting until these rounds, because I don't think he's gonna be there necessarily when draft day comes. So for the sake of this video and realism, I'm trying to show you what you would get with those first 2 quarterback picks. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go DeAndre Swift on this one. Like I'm on the Eagles, run first team. I think he's going to get a ton of touches. Also a lot of catches out of the backfield. I think he's going to be solid in that offense, and he's one of my favorite later round running backs to target. Again, we have the Javonte Williams sitting here too. We could double up on running backs. I don't know if he's fully healthy for week 1 or not. So that's the only kind of, I guess, downside of Javonte Williams. We have Antonio Gibson, who catches some balls as well. James Cook might be a good pick here. It really depends on if the Bills bring in a veteran or not. If they don't, I think James Cook's a really good value here. Let's take a look at the wide receivers too, though. We have Michael Thomas here. Some good rookies: Quentin Johnson, Zay Flowers. Cortland Sutton's not a bad pick. Gabe Davis. I'm not a fan of Treylon Burks, and Jahan Dotson could be solid here. But if you want to risk that, I'm a Commanders fan, so I'm trying to take my biasm out of it. Sam Howell thrown to him, is he really going to do better than, let's say, Gabe Davis with Josh Allen or Cortland Sutton in that new Sean Payton offense? We'll see. He could. He had a nice little touchdown in the preseason game, but we'll find a wide receiver that can battle Swift for the flex. And for me, that's going to be, let's see. A lot to think about here, because if Michael Thomas returns to, that form, I mean, look at this. Top 5, 3 years in a row. Hurt, right? So he's missed. Damn, he hasn't played in a while. I didn't realize it was that time. Whew. But Derek Carr, that's an upgrade at quarterback from the last few years. Obviously not these years. He had Drew Brees, but Dalton, Winston, that kind of quarterback carousel, Taysom Hill. So I think it's worth to maybe take a chance later. Let's try to see if we can get, let's go to Jahan Dotson, dude. I actually do think, all biasm aside, I think he's good. Bench wide receiver. I think he's going to be obviously at number 2 spot. The number 2. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're grabbing Khalil Herbert. Jahan Dotson is going to fill in that number 2 spot. That Curtis Samuel's kind of been vacantly open. I think Jahan Dotson has a nose for the end zone, great hands. So he'll be a good bench wide receiver. We need to fill in, bye weeks or anything like that. I'm not starting him over Waddle, Deontay, or Brian and Ayuk, but we'll see how the season goes. Maybe by the end. Khalil Herbert here. The Bears are still predominantly a run-first team. Khalil Herbert. David Montgomery left, so all those touches are now open to Khalil Herbert. You do have Dante Foreman coming in as well, though, which may take some red zone work. But Khalil Herbert, getting all the pass catches in a PPR. So going to be your third down back. Took a screen to the house, I want to say like 60, 70 yards in the preseason game. So that was going 60, 50 maybe. But, good to see. So I think we're good on running backs. We have 4 for now. May get one a little later, but Jerick McKinnon, I love. Maybe next round we can get him. But wide receivers, we need to get one more. Again, look at this tight end value. Kyle Pitts is still here. Evan Ingram, Freiermuth, and Njoku. So, you can wait on tight end, right, guys? So here's the kind of the deal. Travis Kelce is going in the end of the first, early second. And then it's pretty much Mark Andrews, Kittle, Hawkinson, Waller, Goddard are going to be kind of in the mid rounds. But honestly, dude, I mean, 6th last year. Finished 6th last year. The problem with Freiermuth is we did get Deontay Johnson already. So do you really want to do that? I don't know. But Freiermuth is a great late round tight end that has very high upside. As well as Evan Ingram, right? Coming off a 5th overall finish. Him and Trevor Lawrence seem to be connecting on all cylinders last year. Had a great year. So those two I love a lot for value-wise. Pitts, I've been burned a lot. Seems like he was injured a little last year. But look at the touchdowns, man. I don't know why he can't find the end zone. I mean, you got to believe that he's just athletic enough to become one of those, top 5 tight ends. But as far as quarterbacks go, I'm taking, Kenny Pickett and Trevor Lawrence over Ritter. But we'll wait on tight end 2 more rounds maybe. Here, let's get a wide receiver again. I like Zay Flowers this year. I think he's going to be a solid receiver for Lamar. He may even become the number 1 by the end of the year. And, they've been looking for that number 1 receiver in Baltimore. So I think Zay Flowers has a good chance to be that. We did see a tight end go. Something to keep an eye on. Let's just grab Evan Ingram here. So let's get Evan Ingram. Look at that tight. Oh, Dalton Kincaid. Low-key, good pick there. Evan Ingram, and then 3 tight ends go. So Dalton Kincaid. I want to talk about him because that's another late round pick that could be a solid one. Where was he actually? Ranked down here, isn't he? Yeah. Okay. This is a little funky. I wish I could kind of personalize this. I don't know if I can. I think I have to pay money to do it. So, but whatever. Evan Ingram is going to be our pick here. Dalton Kincaid's been getting a lot of praise out of Buffalo's camp. Obviously, Josh Allen. When you have a quarterback like that level, the tight ends of his favorite tight end is going to be a good spot to be drafting that late as well. I went in the 13th round, 12th, 13th. So this is what I'm talking about, man. Tight ends. If you don't get Kelce, really, if you don't get Kelce, I don't even. Some of these guys are. T.J. Hawkinson's good, but I mean, honestly, for this value, where you can be getting guys like Herbert, Evans, Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, still, I think it's still kind of a reach for tight ends to be going this early. So I say load up on skill positions and get a tight end. Get one of these bargain tight ends late. Freiermuth, Ingram, Pitts, and Njoku, Kincaid. These guys are the tight ends that are getting drafted later, but definitely have the ability to finish top 5, type 5 or so in tight end scoring this year. So next we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide receivers. Running backs, we have 4. We could go another 1 running back. Something that might not be a bad idea here is just like handcuffing. So we could go Foreman and just handcuff Herbert in case one of them goes down. We have the clear number 1. I don't have to risk getting him on free agency or anything. Jeff Wilson may not be a bad pick here, but he's kind of in a committee with Mostert, so we'll see there. Algier, I don't think is going to play much because Bijan is going to be the new guy in town. So I'm just going to handcuff here with Khalil Herbert. So once you get this late, I mean, there's, only so much you can do there. We have our quarterbacks, we have our running backs. Let's take Tyler Boyd. Actually, I really like that pick this late. We'll go Tyler Boyd just to finish off our skills, and then we'll go kicker and defense, which I always recommend going. We'll do Cowboys, and then we'll. I always end up recommend doing defense and kicker with the last two picks. Let's see. We'll go Jake Elliott. We want a kicker and a high-scoring offense. Kind of common sense, but just, teams that score a lot are going to be kicking extra points and field goals more. So, the team ended up not being terrible. Not my favorite. We did stack ETN and Ingram, which, hopefully the Jaguars score a lot of points this year. Two separate. I mean, running back and tight ends, okay, but Mahomes, obviously a banger pick. ETN, Kenneth Walker, Waddle, Johnson, Ayuk. Would have liked to see one of these wide receiver ones maybe first, like a Hill or a Diggs or a CeeDee Lamb or someone like that. But Waddle as your wide receiver one, it's doable. If Tua stays healthy, I could definitely see him, finishing top 10. But I guess we'll see how the season plays out. But here was your challenge, man. Hopefully, I helped you out a little bit. Again, I would advise against doing two quarterbacks with the first two picks. Just because, you run the risk of not being able to move Josh Allen, and then you're stuck with him on the bench. And, that's, almost a wasted pick, right? You're going to play him 1 week when Mahomes has a bye week. So I definitely recommend going skill positions first, and then like we talked about, maybe grabbing a Lamar or Justin Fields, Herbert, Trevor Lawrence later in the draft. In 6, 7, whatever. But keep an eye out, because you can tell when people start panicking about quarterback, you'll start seeing them fly off. Especially in a live draft, if you're doing a live draft. This is all computers, so it's a little different, but you can tell when people start panicking about quarterbacks, because you'll see them start firing off Hurts, Burrow, Jackson, and then you're left with Deshaun Watson or Dak, which isn't necessarily a terrible thing, but your league winners are going to be one of these top guys. I think one of those first two tiers. But that was the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you guys what else you guys want to see. I'll just start filming these. Fill in the rest of the mock drafts before the season starts, and we'll go from there. But I'll talk to you guys later. See you on the next video.